Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. As some of you are aware by now, yesterday Brian Crescenti, my apologies if I pronounce your name wrong, I'm absolutely awful with names, but Brian Crescenti of Rolling Stones magazine broke a news story that was frankly a little shocking. In his article titled Activision Researched Using Matchmaking Tricks to Sell In-Game Items, Rolling Stones showcased a patent filed by Activision in 2015 that was granted yesterday, the 17th of October. And what this patent is exactly that, a patent for a method in which the player is manipulated in a variety of ways to be urged to purchase microtransactions. The U.S. patent number US 9789406B2, named aptly System and Method for Driving Microtransactions in Multiplayer Video Games, is exactly what it sounds like and more. It is, for all intents and purposes, several different systems. The first is a data collection system, something that is actually extremely common in corporate marketing. These systems are extremely sophisticated and are capable of gathering a huge amount of data that can actually be frightening for some if they're not familiar with it. This information is then used by another system in order to provide a method of matchmaking. And once these systems determine your playstyle and what sort of gear or cosmetics you tend to gravitate towards through either gameplay or through subtle hints like mouse position tracking to be able to tell what items draw your eye. Yes, that technology actually exists. I was personally introduced to it during a tech seminar for my work in IT over 2 years ago, and that sort of data collection was already commonplace even then. And then, once they have that information, they match you with other players, usually of a higher skill level, in order to promote your desire for that item. The patent states, for example, in one implementation, the system may include a microtransaction engine that arranges matches to influence game-related purchases. The microtransaction engine may match a more expert marquee player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make game-related purchases of items possessed or used by the marquee player. The junior player may wish to emulate the marquee player by obtaining weapons or other items used by the marquee player. In a particular example, the junior player may wish to become an expert sniper in a game, e.g. as determined from the player profile. The microtransaction engine may match the junior player with a player that is a highly skilled sniper in the game. In this manner, the junior player may be encouraged to make game-related purchases such as a rifle or other items used by the marquee player. The system then goes about reinforcing that microtransaction for the player by then deliberately placing them in matches where that weapon or item is highly effective, providing the player with a feeling that they are much more powerful than they are in reality. This helps out with that little bit of dopamine that will also make it even easier for them to rope the player in next time. From the patent, they state, doing so may enhance a level of enjoyment by the player for the game-related purchase, which may encourage future purchases. For example, if the player purchased a particular weapon, the microtransaction engine may match the player in a gameplay session in which the particular weapon is highly effective, giving the player an impression that the particular weapon was a good purchase. This may encourage the player to make future purchases to achieve similar gameplay results. And I will have a link to the patent in question down in the description below, but the very existence of this system is troubling in the extreme. This is proof positive that the AAA industry fully plans on taking microtransactions and gambling mechanics within video games far beyond the next level. Everyone knows about the concept of subliminal messaging. It is the act of placing visual or auditory cues too subtle or quick for a person's average level of awareness from being able to detect. It is a prohibited practice for use by advertisers, at least in the US, but one that is still invariably used to this day, albeit its use is extremely seldom, or at least it's not often discovered. The Cornell Institute lists subliminal messaging under the list of prohibited advertising practices within the US as the following. Deceptive advertising techniques. Subliminal or similar techniques are prohibited. Subliminal or similar techniques, as used in this part, refers to any device or technique that is used to convey or attempts to convey a message to a person by means of images or sounds of a very brief nature that cannot be perceived at a normal level of awareness. And to be honest, no one likes the thought of subliminal messaging. Nobody likes the idea of their mind being used as some corporate executive's personal playground to become unwitting money printers. And this seems to me to be little more than a legal sidestep of the principles behind subliminal messaging, except this is far more targeted. This system is designed to deliberately manipulate its target into making purchases via the microtransaction system, and then introducing a temporary feeling of reward surrounding that purchase. It is extremely insidious in nature, and if this was the filed patent 2 years ago for microtransactions, how many AAA companies, such as EA, have come up with a similar methodology for promoting loot boxes and their gambling mechanics within these video games? I will be putting out an in-depth discussion on these systems at a later date, as it will be much longer than my standard videos and it takes a while to gather up all the necessary research, but this patent is one of the most glaring examples yet as why so many of us have been pushing back against microtransactions and loot boxes. The AAA companies don't want to make games for you anymore. What they seem to desire now is a dopamine-fueled addiction system colored over and prettied up in the shiny veneer of fanciful graphics, both as a way to more easily sell cosmetic items and to help disguise the bin of dopamine-laced rabbit pellets they've slowly been turning the industry into. A stand needs to be made, and it would seem that more and more every day people are finally beginning to wake up to that fact. Now, if you would like to stay up to date on these issues and more, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to mash all the other buttons in rapid succession. I'm sure some of them do something. And in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.